soulmates, you're welcome to my channel. This is a new tutorial and it is as easy as. To all my subscribers, you are welcome. My new subscribers, you are still welcome. This is the lace placement tutorial, guys. There's no need to waste time on this. This is a lace placement tutorial, and I went ahead to cut my lace the same way I cut the linings, and I've joined the skirt part already. This is me placing the lace on top of it. You get the lace, you notch the center front of the lace so that if you're placing it, you place it straight up to the center of the skirt, the dress that you've made. So you go ahead to trim. After joining, you go ahead to trim the sides, leaving in a half-inch space that you can use to fold in while hand stitching. So I'm going ahead now to place the back. This is me placing one of the back, and to place one of the back, you put it just small inch away from the zipper so that it will not be on the way of the zip when you want to open it up and down. So that is how you do that. You have to make it to be very neat. You place it to be so close to the zip so that nobody will know that this was a lace placed stuff, So you go ahead to pin and pin and pin. You have to make sure you have a whole lot of pins. Pin and pin and pin. I've gone ahead to pin this, and it is down. It is at the hem. It has gotten to the down, so I'm trimming the side of the back. You trim it leaving half-inch, just like you did to the front space. Yeah. So I've gone ahead to fix the second part of the back piece, folding in the allowances to cover up the zipper allowance area. So at the down part where the zip stopped, where that zip is stopped, you can see where my hand is. You now match it to lap on each other. Yes, from the waist up, you put them separately, but when you get to where that zip stop, you match it so that one can overlap on the other, giving it a neat finish. You still pin and pin and pin and pin. Guys, this is something that it's kind of easy. It's kind of easy. The only good thing I like about this lace placement technique is that it saves you a whole lot of fabric. Yes, it can be painful around the waist, bending down to tack and pin, but trust you me, the outcome and the end result is superb. So I'm going ahead to cut the basque that I'm having around the waist of this dress. Please, I have a tight inside my dummy. You may be asking, what's that black thing? It's a tight. I padded my tight, and I wore it I padded the tight for the dummy, and I wore it on the dummy. Sorry. So this is my needle. This is the needle I use. It's a long needle that is bent. This is just the best to achieve this, and I've gone ahead to thread the needle. I doubled it. I'm having four lines. I doubled it up, so you can still make it to be 6 or 8 depending on how you want it. So to start tacking, you overlay one side on the other side, then you hold up the first and the second lace. That's, you hold up the front and the back, then hold up the lining. I don't know if you understand. You overlay. Okay, for what I did now, I used the front to overlay the back. I placed the front on the back, folding in that half-inch seam allowance that I added. Fold it in. Then I pick the front lace, I pick the back lace, and I also pick the lining inside. That's how to tack it. If you pick only the laces, that's the front and the back lace, without picking the lining, you have not done anything. So you first of all, you pick the two lace, that's for the front piece and the back piece. Then you move further in to tack the lining so that it can stay in place. So this is me folding and folding and folding and folding and tacking and folding and tacking. Make sure that you fold it so that you get a neat finish, a very neat one, that nobody will even know that there is anything like tacking. It will just seem as if it was made with the skirt, it was sewed on your machine. No one will notice that it was hand tacked. So you go ahead to tack and tack and tack and tack and tack. You just keep on tacking, guys. I don't want to talk too much. Let me just allow you guys to watch and see what I am doing. Then if it gets to a place where I can talk, I will still come in and say something. But just watch closely, you can see what I'm doing and you are going to understand. Just look so closely how I am picking the first lace that is on top, the one I overlapped, the one inside, and then I went ahead to pick the lining piece inside too. So you have to fold up the lace that is overlapping. You fold it using that 1/2 inch that you left. So this is me now tacking and dragging. Make sure you drag too, so that you can get a perfect fit, so that nothing, the lace will not be like jumping up on one side of it, like having this puffy effect on one side. So the good thing about this, the easiest way to achieve this is to drape it on your client when she is wearing this dress. But if the client is not readily available, you can have someone that is of the same size. You can get someone that is of the same size to help you size this cloth, to help you fit this cloth. Because this is more like an in finish. This is more like an like it is a seam finish. Like there, after this part now, this cloth cannot be amended, it cannot be loosed, it cannot, except if you want to start over again. So another thing to take note in lace placement technique is that your clients must come for fitting before you add the lace. I don't know if you're understanding. Your clients must come for fitting, must fit it, whether it is they are going to shape it, whether it is too tight, before you come for the lacing. And one other thing I have experienced in lace placement is that if your client is sizing this, these are little tips I want to tell you. If your client is sizing the dress before the lace placement, you have to make sure that the dress is a bit looser around the hip, not too loose and not too tight, because after you finish using your needle to tack and tack and tack, you might have tacked in little of the allowance in the cloth and it is going to be too tight, except if that's what you want. Though this is still depending on the kind of lace you are using. If you're using a very stretchy lace, it can work. If you're using a very stretchy lace, yes, you can just leave the measurements the way it is and they'll fit and it will be very good. So you can see I finished doing this. So I finished doing the side of it, the other side, and you didn't notice anything. So I'll now move over to start with the basque waist. I'll still go ahead to fold it in with that 1/2 inch that I left for the finishing of the mouth. Fold it in, then you tack and tack. Connect your lace, connect the lining, connect the lace, connect the lining, then bring out your thread. And mind you, your thread, your needle should be passed in from where the last stitch came out from. That's your needle. Your next needle should start from where the thread is sitting. This is to give it a small stitch, because if you give it space while giving it that stitch, it is going to be having so many much lines that like the thread will be obvious and it's going to be showing. Please don't forget to use a matching thread. Don't forget to use a matching thread. You can as well use an invisible thread. That's those white thread that they normally use for beading. You can still use it for this one. That will still go. But if you have the same color of polyester thread, the matching perfect with the color of your dress, you are good to go. So I was saying something. Your client should fit this before you do lace placement. Your client should fit the dress before you start your lace placement. This is because you don't want to be having issues. It's too tight though, please lose it here, lose it there. Auntie, the work here is not easy. Uncle, the work here is not easy. Forget they will tell you that lace placement is an easy something. It is not easy. By the time you finish bending down, squatting, kneeling down, in the name of in the process of tacking a dress to tacking a lace to a dress, you will not want to go back and forth, losing it and still holding it back. It's not going to be easy. So now I've finished the basque waistline area, and I have gone to the side of the other side of the front, and I've done that. So I'm connecting the back now. I'm at the back, trying to start from the waist as well, starting from one side of the waist, run it through the zipper allowance area. You can see how did you see how that zipper allowance area is neat? I told you, if you're putting your lace there and pinning, you have to make sure to put it very close to the zip area, but it should not obstruct the zip from opening and closing. Okay, so I was telling you people a story. I was telling you people, I was giving you some tips rather. Your clients have to size this before you continue. Yes. So this is what we are having: stitching and tacking, hand stitching and tacking, hand stitching and tacking. This lace placement techniques, it is having so many much advantages. The advantages are much, and it is having disadvantages too. The only disadvantage in this is that one of them though, when you add, like after making this dress, maybe in the next 1 year, 2 years, your client adds, like, gets some skin, like fats up a bit or adds up some skin a bit, they cannot lose this cloth though, except if you want to just do away with it automatically. There is no losing. The way it is the way it is going to be. So I've gone ahead to finish the waistline of the back. I opened it up. I opened the zip up so that I can easily tack that back and give it a neat finish. So I'm going ahead to tack and tack and tack. This is not something, it's just something you have to practice. It's not a deep cotton. It's not like the normal cotton tutorial that we used to have. No, this is just something you watch and practice. You try, watch and practice, then you try it yourself. All right, so mates, if you have watched to this point and you find what I am doing interesting, kindly subscribe to my channel. Give me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what your thoughts are, and like this video so that the algorithm will know that yes, this is something that is having value. The almighty lace placement, this is it. This is it. The almighty lace placement, this is just what it is. It is not an easy something, guys. Your back will pain you because you have to bend and tack. Sometimes you will sit, and when you sit for a long time, you get tired. You'll still continue, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So until you get to that part. So for the zipper allowance area, back to our tutorial. For the zipper allowance area, from that up waist, you stitch it individually. That's open up the zip and stitch it one after the other. But when you get to where the zipper stops, that around the under butt area, you now overlap, just like we did for the front side seam. Just like we did for the side seam, you now overlap one of the back. You know that there is a joining there. So if you don't want that joining, you can still do it one after the other, straight down to the hemline at the back. But me, I like to do mine together so that the seam there will not be too obvious. I will now go ahead to overlap one of the center back to the other side of the center back. Yes, that's when I finish working on the zip area and I know that I'm done with the zipper. I will now go ahead and overlap from the under butt, overlap one side of it to the other side of it. This is not something that's difficult. It's just that it is not easy. It is not difficult, and at the same time it is not easy. So that is how you just keep going and keep going. We're almost done. No, we keep going and keep going and keep going until voila, we are done. Our skirt is ready, our corset gown is ready, and this is what you are going to be having, the outcome after you finish. So lace placement, lace placement, lace placement. This is it, guys. I don't want this video to be too long. That's why I'm trying to take my time, as if I'm rushing and rushing and rushing. But when you pay close attention to this, you will see that it is worth it. It is worth it. It is going to give you the avenue to manage your fabric Yes, with 1.5 yards of material lace, you can achieve this. Yes, except if you want it to be maybe a flay something. Yes, but if it's a straight pencil gown, 1.5 is okay, depending on the size of your client. So we're almost done and getting to the end of this tutorial. If you like what I did, give me a thumbs up and like my video. Bye. See you in my next one.